Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about installing WordPress, and that's all we're going to do in this video is do a manual install of WordPress. So if you already know how to install WordPress, then you can skip to the next video. So the first thing you want to do is head over to wordpress.org, and you'll see at the top right here, you'll see download WordPress, so click on that, and then you'll see over here that you can download the zip file. So let's download that. And then we'll save it. And so let's just wait for that to finish downloading. Okay, so it's downloaded and I copied it into a working folder for my site here. Now, this is the current version of WordPress. Yours may be different when you get it downloaded. Okay, so you can just use the extract all function within Windows or download something called 7-zip, which I like to use. Click extract files. Okay. And that'll extract everything out of the zip file for us. Okay, so here's our files. Inside what we just unzipped, there's a WordPress directory, and then inside that are all the files that we need to upload to make WordPress work. So what you're going to need to do is upload these to your server, and I suggest using an FTP client called FileZilla, which is free. Okay, so here's what FileZilla looks like. On the left will be the files you want to upload, so let's go to the files within there. And on the right side will be your server, and all you have to do is connect up by putting your host name in here, which is your domain name, and the username and password for your hosting account. And then you can connect up, do a quick connect and go, or you can use the site manager. If you put your entries in there, you can come back to them time and time again and upload them. Okay, so let's upload this to our server. Now at this point you can upload it into the root of your hosting account or public HTML, whichever your server provider tells you to upload your files into so they're visible on the net. Or you can put it in a subfolder. So if you put it in a subfolder, it'll be your domain name / the folder name in the browser bar to get to it. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to create a directory on the server side, and I'm going to call it gardening. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here into the gardening directory, and I'm going to upload all of this. So I'm going to Control A. After you select one, we'll select them all, and then right click and upload. And we're going to upload that to our server. Now, WordPress uses a database to store all the information, so we need to create a database on our server. To do that, I'm going to go into cPanel, as I have cPanel hosting, and I'm going to set up a database. Here at our control panel, so we want to go down to databases, and then we're going to go to the database wizard. This lets us set it all up in one spot. Okay, so we're going to give it a database name. Let's call it gardening. Okay, next step. Okay, and now we need to set up a username and password for database access. So I'm just going to call it gardening again. It's a good idea to use a different one. Actually, I use garden. So we can use the password manager now to give us a secure password. Click that you've saved it in a secure place, and we're going to put that onto Notepad in a sec here. So now we're going to create the user. Okay, we need to give it all privileges for the database. Click next step. And the database is created. Okay, now we need to open up Notepad and we need to save our information here. So first let's save the password. And we'll paste this in here. We're going to need this in a minute when we go to set up WordPress. And then we're going to grab this stuff here. So this is our username and this is our database name here. So let's just copy all this. I'll put it into Notepad here with the password so that we have everything together when we need it. Okay, let's check the progress. So it looks everything was successful uploading here, as you can see, and no failed transfers. All right, so now what we need to do is go to the website where we have installed these files. Okay, so to do that, we just go to the browser, put in the domain name, and there it is. Create a configuration file, and it'll create that for us. Let's click Let's Go. As you see here, it's going to take all these things that we just saved into our notepad, and we'll go over there now, and let's start filling that out. Okay, so the database name, we're going to go get that out of our notepad here. So here it is over on this side. Copy this. And then we'll paste it in here. Okay, next we have our username. So we copy it from over here now. And then we're going to go back and paste it in. All right, back to our password. Grab this. And we're going to go back and paste it in. Okay, and then our database host. Localhost is usually correct, but not always. And there is an easy way to find it. Now down here we have our table prefix. And we need to change this. Don't use WP because it's not really secure. You're going to want to change this to something else. So I'm going to change the first couple letters here to GRD, like gardening. Okay, so that gives us a different extension, and now we can have multiple databases in, or multiple databases or tables in one database if we want. Okay, so we need to find what our database host name is. To do that, we go to phpMyAdmin in our cPanel, and it will tell us in there. So let's click on this. Loading. Okay, now right at the top up here, you'll see that it says localhost right up at the top left there. So that is our database name, or our host name. Okay, so make sure that you check here to get the proper name or nothing works properly. Okay, so let's go back, and that's correct now, so let's click Submit. And run the install. Good, okay, so now we put in our site title. So all about gardening. Okay, and then we need a username. So I'll say gardener. Password. We enter that twice. Okay, so very weak. That isn't very good, but try and get a strong password in there. And then down here, we are going to put our email address in. And then allow search engines to index this site. You can either turn that off while you're developing it and then turn it on later, or just leave it on. I'm actually going to leave this one on so I don't forget to turn it back on later. Okay, so I'll just put my email in here, and then we will click Install WordPress, and it'll just fire away, and WordPress will be installed. Let's go. Okay, so now we just need to log in. Let's log in. And there we are. We now have WordPress installed.